Hi, today we're going to discuss about Maven plugins and one of the very important plugin which will be useful in the DevSecOps area where you will be kind of performing the scan against our dependencies and detecting will there be any dependency is vulnerable or not. If there is any dependency which is vulnerable, our scan should be able to identify and tell you the reason or maybe vulnerability name uh, and so that we can go and fix that particular dependency with the latest version. So we all know from where the dependencies comes from and we all know how to add the dependency. It's just matter of whatever the dependency we are adding, how can we ensure that is basically not having any vulnerabilities because we are not developed the dependency, right? Somebody else might have developed. We are taken from Maven Central. So we just need to ensure that all of our dependencies are secure and protected so that it doesn't have any vulnerability so that it is all when we package and deliver to someone it can run without any vulnerability issues. So let's look into our project again. This is the project as we created in the previous videos. If you have not seen my previous videos, please do refer and see how the project has been created, and also like what is group ID, artifact ID, and version number, and archetype generate. All those things have been listed in my previous videos. Let's look into the dependencies section here. So these are the dependencies which are required for the project dependencies. So to compile my project or to test, I need this dependency. Basically, there was an entry here which was a scope is test. So only this dependency is only available or only required during a testing time. So we have a compilation, we have a testing, and we have a packaging, right? So only testing time this dependency is required. So that's the reason we define a test. So now in Maven, if you want to extend any functionality, we need there is something called plugins in Maven. So we need to add a new plugin based on our requirement. In this case, what we have is we want to add OWASP Dependency Check Maven. The website is here. Can in Google also you can search for OWASP Dependency Scan, Dependency Check Maven. Yeah, you can. This is the documentation which will kind of it will take you to. So they give an example. Create a dependency check report HTML in the target folder. You need to add this block. Basically, you need to add the plugin. This plugin is here we are mentioning what is the plugin, what is the for the plugin, what is the group ID, artifact ID, and version number. What are exactly the goals we need to? These are uh, basically you are telling what goals should be available in the in the plugin. That's what it means. So what is goal? Goal is something the commands whatever we are executing those commands for the CLI uh, we call it as a goals. So every plugin will be serving some sort of goals. So if you take this plugin is serving some goals. If I scroll a little bit up, you can find, sorry, in the left side, you can see goals. These are the goals available. You can see dependency check colon aggregate, dependency check colon check. These are the goals available for this particular plugin, whatever we are adding. So this is one of the example, and you can see there is one more example. If you want aggregate, like if you want to if you have a multiple projects, I mean parent and child relationship projects, then you can aggregate all the reports. Then also you can say build should fail if it is greater than uh, X number of failures. If you see anything greater than 8, we mentioned build should fail. You can see here description. If there is any errors greater than or equal to 8, which are vulnerabilities, the count, it will fail. So the same way you have various examples here which you can use. For now, I'm not using. Uh, I'm using a very basic one, which is the first one. Let's go and look into this. If you see, this is the plugin. I'm defining a plugin and I'm defining a goal. Uh, yeah. So now I'm going to execute. the goal. So what happens, how it works is it's really you need to understand how it works. Basically, this plugin uses NVD, National Vulnerable Database, and it's a scan against the database with all your dependencies, whatever we have. All these dependencies are getting scanned against NVD, National Vulnerable Database, and then it will detect will there be any vulnerabilities or not, and it will generate a HTML report. And the database, the entire database of National Vulnerability Database, that will be downloaded into your local system. At any point of time, if you want to update, yes, there is a goal here. You can update you can update only the particular database. Yeah, and also you can see here dependency. Yeah, you can see here dependency check update only, dependency check purge. This will clear the NVD database. So how it happens is the database, entire database is downloaded into your local system, and it will be performed the scan. The scan will be performed from your local system itself. So that's how it happens. So now, as I added the plugin in the pom.xml, let's go to project folder and execute the goal, which is mvn space dependency check. I'm going to perform clean as well so that the target folder will be recreated. Yeah, if you see here scanning projects and performing a clean, and you can see dependency check. So as part of this dependency check, it is going to check all the dependencies what we have against database. As I already ran couple of times this plugin in my local system, I have the database already available in my system, so it doesn't take much time. In your case, if you're running first time, definitely there will be database download will happen in your system. It will take couple of minutes. Depends on your server capacity or VM capacity. It will be downloaded. Then once it is downloaded, it can perform a scan. You can see here the report has been generated in the target folder, the same project target folder. If I go to target folder, there is a report. So this is the report is telling that the dependencies check version. If I click on show all, it will show me the entire details of how many vulnerabilities detected and how many dependencies has been scanned. So far, we don't have any dependencies declared. So let's go and declare one dependency. The current dependency what we have is scope test. I want to pick one of the dependency. Let's go to Maven Central, Apache Maven Central, and find any dependency which is having vulnerability. Example, log4j. So here there is a vulnerability, one vulnerability. Let's take this 2.17.0 and Maven. Click on Maven. This is the block I need to copy paste into my pom.xml. Go there and mention dependency block, loop ID, artifact ID, and version number. These three things are mandatory for declaring a dependency. Now I am going to run the same command. Now in my report, I should see one vulnerability, one or more vulnerabilities for against this particular dependency. See, it's downloading as this jar is not, this dependency is not available in my local system, and it's performing a dependency check. Yeah, you can see check for updates complete 782 milliseconds. It is looking for an update, and it's already everything is up to date. So no download happened for my NVD in my local system. So definitely when you run first time, it will take some time to download. Yeah, let's wait for give few more seconds. Should be completed. Yeah, it is done. Now you can see writing HTML report and created CPK index. This is all kind of analysis it's done, and we have a report here. And one or more dependencies were identified with known vulnerabilities in simple project. You can see here there is a line telling that one or more vulnerabilities has been identified. This is the jar which is having this vulnerability. Okay, this can be find when you look at the Maven Central itself. You can find the vulnerability details here. Uh, in case if you are using any dependency, you don't really go to the Maven Central and keep checking, right? So as part of our build process, when you're compiling, we will be compiling the code with a dependency check as part of dependency check, so that we can detect if there is any issue. Yeah. So let me open the report now. Yeah, you can see the report and the vulnerable dependencies 1, overall dependencies scanned 2, and vulnerable dependencies 1. If I click on show all, you can see here the dependency and the dependencies information and the vulnerabilities information. This is how projects will or DevOps team will identify any kind of vulnerable dependencies in a project. Yeah. To fix the vulnerability what we detected in the version, let's go and update the vulnerability version and rerun the scan so that you can see whether vulnerability has been fixed or not. So in our dependency, what we mentioned is 217.0, which we've been identified it is a vulnerable. So now we're going to update the version number from 217.0 to 217.2, where it doesn't have any vulnerability. So 217.2, and save it and perform the same scan again, dependency check, which is going to rescan again with the new dependency version, and it will confirm whether it is having any vulnerabilities or not. So we'll quickly verify the report, and also we'll see few other goals which they have been given. Example, updating the database, and we will wrap it up. Yeah, just see it's been generated. Now I'm going to open the target folder. Yeah, here you can see dependencies scanned 2 and the number of dependencies, yeah, and the vulnerabilities. It shows as no vulnerabilities has been detected. It's on fixed. So uh, one second, let's go and pick another goal. Yeah, it doesn't have any vulnerability now. Let's go to another goal which we have, which is dependency check purge, which is going to clear the NVD database in your local system, and a dependency check update only. So at any time, if you want to update your local NVD database, you can perform this goal, which will basically update your local NVD database. Yeah, it may just say that you are already up to date because of I recently updated the entire database. Yeah, checking for updates. It's all up to date. Okay, so that's how we basically deal with you know OWS ASP scanning reports. Of course, there are a lot of configuration here. At any point of time, if you want generate HTML report, XML report, different type of reports, if you want, you can go ahead and generate it. For now, like it's by default it's generating HTML report. If you want XML, you can generate it any other format, whatever we like. There is a more documentation, and then the configuration as well. We can refer it from the URL, and the type of reports you want, the configuration, those things can be customized based on the report, based on the requirement. Hope you like the video. Thank you so much. Please do share and subscribe.